If you're new to the stripes, you learn pretty fast that the biggest moments of chaos in a hockey game can start from the simplest things.
Oh, absolutely.
Everyone just assumes the face-off is easy. You just drop the puck, right?
Yeah.
But the second those two players line up, the temptation to cheat is just immense.
It is. It really is.
And that's why mastering the face-off, which is all laid out in USA Hockey Rule 613, is so critical. If you fail there, you can lose control of the game in a heartbeat.
That is the honest-to-God truth. The face-off dot is where your consistency as a referee gets put to the test. And really, consistency is control. So our mission today is to take you, the new official, right into the heart of Rule 613 from the 2025-2029 rulebook. We want to get you past being just a puck dropper and turn you into a confident enforcer of a fair, clean start to play.
And that means we're going to get into all the little details, where the sticks go, how your body should be angled, and most importantly, that non-negotiable two-step enforcement ladder. Because once you get this procedure down cold, you have a massive advantage in managing the whole game.
So let's start at the beginning. Jurisdiction and mechanics. Rule 613A. It's simple enough. It says play starts when an official drops the puck between the sticks of two opposing players.
Okay.
But then you have Rule 503B, which tells you who's actually doing the work. And, it's the linespersons who handle almost every single face-off.
Right, except for the big ones like the start of a period or after a goal. That's usually the referee.
That's the one. So before anyone even thinks about their stick, you, the official, have a job to do. You have to select the correct face-off location.
And that depends entirely on what just happened, right? Was it an offside? Puck out of play? You've got to get that spot right. It's your first chance to show you're in control.
Absolutely. So you've pointed to the spot the centers are skating in.
Yeah.
Now, the drop itself, this is governed by Rule 613-2, and it's all about speed and being impartial.
You drop it straight down, no messing around.
Straight down and without delay. And here's a really critical detail. The rule strictly says the official cannot feint or use any unnecessary delay.
Wait, feinting? Why is that in the rule book? What's the big deal?
It's all about taking away the mind games. If you're sort of bobbing the puck or you make a little twitch like you're about to drop it.
You're giving the players a chance to time you, to get a jump on it.
Exactly. You encourage them to cheat, basically.
Yeah.
The rule ensures it's a predictable, clean, instantaneous drop. It takes your own influence completely out of the equation.
That makes perfect sense. So it standardizes the drop, and if it's a bad drop, say the puck hits a stick on the way down or a player clearly moves early.
Whistle. You blow it, you reset, and you do it again immediately. You never, ever try to let a bad drop go.
Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty, the player positioning. This is where the trouble usually starts.
It is, especially in the end zones where everything is so tight. Rule 613A is incredibly precise here.
First thing is body position. The players have to stand squarely. What does squarely mean on the ice?
It means their shoulders should be perpendicular to the sideboards. They need to be facing their opponent's goal. And the rulebook gives you a hint. See those L-shaped lines on the ice at the face-off spot?
Yeah.
Those are your guideposts. They're there to help you and the players get that positioning right.
But the real focus, the thing you're watching like a hawk, is the stick blade.
That's the one. The blades of both players must be in contact with the nearest white area of the face-off spot. This is, it's the easiest violation to see and the most common way players try to gain an edge.
And crucially, the stick has to be clear of the center red area, that little red circle in the middle.
Yes, that red dot is sacred ground before the pick drops.
Why, though? What's the advantage of creeping into the red?
It's all about leverage. If a center gets their blade into that red area, they get a huge reach advantage. They're in a position to just sweep the puck back instantly.
Making it almost impossible for the other guy to win it cleanly.
Exactly. By keeping both blades on the white, you're making sure they start on equal footing. And just as important, you have a clean channel to drop the puck right between them.
Okay, now what about out in the neutral zone or at center ice? The rules are a bit looser there, right?
A little, but the principle is the same. The centers still have to face their opponent's end squarely, but Rule 613A says they should be about one stick length apart.
Which helps you, the linesperson, get a better view of everything.
It helps a lot, and that brings up the system of dual coverage. If you're the official dropping the puck, you are watching the centers and all the players in front of you for any kind of encroachment.
But you can't see behind you.
That's where your partner comes in. The backlines person has a huge role. They are watching for any encroachment from the players behind you.
So the defensemen or the wingers on the far side who think they can sneak in early?
That's their job. It's a full 360-degree lockdown on the face-off circle.
Okay, so we've got the perfect setup, but of course players are going to be players. So let's talk about the violations that make you blow that whistle and start the enforcement process.
Right. The first two are the most obvious ones, and they're about positioning. Improper stick placement, so creeping into the red in early entry, where a winger or D-man crosses the line before the puck is dropped.
And the third one is a bit different. It's an action by the center.
Yeah, hitting the puck out of the air. It's right there in the casebook. If a center swings and makes contact with the puck before it even hits the ice, that's an immediate whistle, violation, reset.
Okay, now here's where I think it gets really interesting, because not every stoppage leads to that removal penalty ladder we talked about.
That's a fantastic point. You have to know the difference between a face-off violation and, say, a slow line change.
Right. The team is just taking forever to get their players out.
The casebook is clear on this. That's a player change violation. It's a delay of game bench minor, but it is not a face-off violation. You don't remove the center for that.
So you, as the official, have to separate those two things in your mind. If a player keeps putting his stick in the red, that's a face-off violation. Whistle, warning, removal.
Correct.
But if the whole team is dragging their feet getting off the bench, that's a different problem with a different solution. Maybe a warning or a bench minor penalty.
Precisely. Knowing which rule you're enforcing is what dictates what you do next.
Which brings us to the mandatory ladder. This is probably the most important thing for a new official to get right.
It is, because Rule 613C leaves no room for interpretation. You don't have discretion here. You have to apply this escalation exactly as written. It's a clear two-step process.
Okay, so walk us through it. Step one.
Step one is the first violation. A center messes up their stick placement. You blow the whistle. They are immediately removed from the face-off. You, the linesperson, have to clearly signal which center is getting tossed.
And they get replaced by a teammate who was already on the ice. Right?
Yes, that's key. It's usually a winger or even a defenseman who has to step in and take the draw.
Okay, so let me play this out. I'm the linesperson. I kick out the center for moving early. His winger comes in to take the face-off. And on the very next attempt, he puts his stick right in the red before I drop it. What happens then? Do I go straight to a penalty?
You do. It feels harsh, but it is mandatory. And that's step two, the escalation.
Wow.
If the same team commits a second face-off violation during the same stoppage of play, so they failed the first time and their placement fails the second time, that second player is assessed a minor penalty for delaying the game.
He goes to the box for 2 minutes.
He goes to the box, and the team has to put a third person in to take the face-off.
So the sequence is removal, then an immediate minor penalty on the next infraction by that team. That is a massive tool for control.
It's the ultimate tool. It's how you establish, very quickly, that you own the face-off dot, not the players.
What happens if you see a violation but you can't tell who did it? Like there's just a mess of bodies and sticks moving at the edge of the circle.
The rule accounts for that, too. If the offending player can't be identified, maybe it's someone on the bench yelling or just general chaos.
You can't just let it go.
You can't. That's when Rule 613C tells you to assess a bench minor penalty to the team. The core principle holds. 2 violations by one team during one stoppage results in a penalty on the clock. It's how you stop the game from devolving.
And this all connects right back to your fundamental duties as an official. Know the rules and apply them. No exceptions.
That's the job.
So let's boil this all down. What are the 2 big takeaways for you, the novice official listening right now?
I'd say number 1 is simple. Positioning starts with the stick blade in the white area of the dot. Police that tiny space, and you prevent 90% of the problem.
Keep them out of the red.
Keep them out of the red. And takeaway number 2 is that enforcement is a mandatory 2-step process. The first time, it's removal. The second time, by the same team on the same stoppage, it's a minor penalty. No warnings in between.
Apply it with confidence, and the players will get the message loud and clear.
They learn fast. Now, for one final thought for you to chew on, let's talk about the line between a face-off violation and actual interference.
Okay.
We mentioned Rule 613 says if a player makes physical contact with his opponent's body or stick before the face-off is done, it's an immediate minor for interference. You skip the removal and go right to the penalty.
All right.
So here's the question for you, the linesperson on the ice. You are responsible for helping your referee spot major infractions, things with injury potential.
Things like roughing, interference, checking from behind.
Exactly. So what do you do if you see one center who, on multiple face-off attempts, isn't trying to win the puck at all? Instead, he's deliberately using his body, or his stick, to check the other guy before the puck is even dropped.
So it's not an accident. He's playing the body, not the puck.
He's playing the body. How quickly does that move from being a simple interference minor to something more? When does that become an action where you need to have a serious talk with your referee about maybe escalating things to a misconduct? Recognizing that line between a hockey play and deliberate physicality is what keeps your game safe and under control. That's something to think about the next time you see those two sticks line up.